you like what you've seen, don't forget that you can like, share, subscribe, donate via Western Union MoneyGram. Let's talk some boxing. So Eddie Reynoso, in an interview with Little Giants, Constantino is the interviewer. He spoke on a very burning issue, and he's tried to bring some clarity to the issue of PEDs, the alleged allegations that Caleb Plant put forward. And Eddie Reynoso tried to explain his role for the fighters. And also that Team Canelo is not what you think it is. So Team Canelo, he explained very quickly, is Canelo and himself. He's Canelo's manager. He's Canelo's trainer. And that's it. He said with the other fighters, he is simply a trainer. He's not a nutritionist. He's not a strength and conditioning coach. None of that. Okay. So he can't propose different things to the fighters. That's not his role. So his fighters have their own managers, they have their own promoters, they have their own trainers, etc. Well, not trainers, sorry, their own psychologists, etc. Physicians and stuff. So he just wanted to separate himself from that. Now, his explanation for Canelo kind of is corroborated by Victor Conte. Victor Conte came out, complimented Canelo, clearing his name using the follicle test, hair follicle test. We know the hair follicle test is not 100% accurate, but in combination with other tests, it can be, right? So his explanation with Canelo, again, I didn't have a problem too much with it. However, his explanation with Oscar Valdez was one in which it was a very tricky situation, in which he's saying that Oscar Valdez was not tested. He brought back some negative tests or something like that. And so the commission was allowed him to go forward with the fight. But we all know Margaret Goodman is on record as saying that this is a terrible thing for boxing and the implications are sad. And not only Margaret Goodman, but of course we know the A and B samples for Oscar Valdez were found to be positive for the drug that he used, which we all know is a prescription drug. And in addition, remember the referee's bad decision in the fight, as well as the judge's bad judgment of the fight. And the judge came back out and apologized for it. So there was a fix in. All of this put together, it makes Eddie Reynoso's statement on Oscar Valdez. Yeah, maybe Oscar Valdez works hard, but you can't vouch for Oscar Valdez. You can't say that, he did the right thing, because we know we have evidence out there that he didn't do the right thing. All right. I really didn't like it. And of course, the WBC in there, again, I'm just going to say this over and over again, no matter what Mauricio Suleiman says to try to spin it, the WBC has been sort of siding with athletes who have been found to have been doping. They literally have been found. The A and B samples are found to be doping. And on several occasions now, I think it's about 4 or 5 of them, the WBC has sided with these fighters. Sometimes the decision has been reversed. In the case of Oscar Valdez, they erected a statue in his home town after this dude has been caught dirty, after his fight has been fixed. This is not good. This is not good for boxing. So, no matter what Eddie Reynoso says, I don't know what his role was in the whole process, if he had anything to do with it, but at the end of the day, Eddie Reynoso trying to vouch for Oscar Valdez, I don't think that's a good look for Eddie Reynoso. I'm just saying. And I'm not somebody who, I understand where Eddie Reynoso is coming from, and even the quote that I put in my profile pic, when you are the best, you're seen as a threat, and people generally have something negative to say about you. This is the case with Floyd Mayweather. This is definitely the case with Canelo Alvarez as well. But at the same time, we cannot vouch for Oscar Valdez. Like, I'm one of those guys out there, again, I tell you the truth, right? So with Oscar Valdez situation, here's what's happening. Oscar Valdez is a dude who was caught dirty. This is what it is. This is not clenbuterol, where, he had a small portion of stuff. When we look at the levels, even Victor Conte speaks about this, the levels were just way up there. This dude pumped the stuff into his system. And whoever gave him advice was stupid advice, because that's dangerous, right? We know that the drug is dangerous for your health, on top of the fact that the drug itself is also giving you unfair advantage in losing weight as well as masking for other agents that can go into that side of your body. So it's just not cool all the way around. That drug is not cool for Oscar Valdez. And as we saw in his performance, it assisted him to some degree, but obviously we all know, everybody who watched the fight with him and Concierto saw that he didn't win that fight. Okay, and even though they robbed Concierto twice through a judge and then through the referee, he still didn't win the fight, right? And of course, the truth comes out in the end. So whether Eddie Reynoso had anything to do with that, whether it was his manager or his promoter or maybe his physician who gave him this drug, whatever it was, Oscar Valdez panicked because he had to deal with this guy and he was trying to find out a way to win. He didn't have the confidence, and I know he had to be conscious of this drug because he had to know about this drug that was going in the system. No fighter who's meticulous like Oscar Valdez and his team would not deliberately do something. They deliberately did it. So the question is, because we know Oscar Valdez's team is different to Canelo's team, right? Team Canelo is Reynoso and Canelo. Team Valdez, who apologized to Canelo. Why is Oscar Valdez apologizing to Canelo? That's what I want to know. But anyway, he was apologizing to Canelo because Canelo's reputation is going to be tied to him. And of course, people are going to go at Canelo. Now, a lot of people say that Canelo's a clean fighter. I'm not here to discuss whether Canelo's clean or not. All right? My point is, with Oscar Valdez, regardless of whoever recommended that thing to him and he took it upon himself consciously, he had to know. People don't give you things that you don't know about. And if so, it's up to you to know what's going in your body because you're the athlete that's being tested. So anyhow, any way you look at it, Oscar Valdez was responsible for what happened. He never got suspended. He never got disciplined. They say he's doing community service or some craziness, but he never got disciplined appropriately to the situation. And I don't care if you haven't been found dirty before. I don't care. You are supposed to be disciplined accordingly. You should have been suspended. That fight should have been suspended. When the WGC couldn't get information on what was happening with Dillian White, they suspended his interim championship. Right? And it was some side thing as well. It was some side nutrition that UCAD was looking into. Okay? Now, of course, the WBC didn't have the information that they had with Oscar Valdez, but then even so, Oscar Valdez, we lack information because they don't know where this thing came from. All they know is it showed up. What was his problem? Okay? So they still don't know where this stuff came from. And that, my friends, is not good news. It's not a good look on boxing. So Eddie Reynoso defending Oscar Valdez, that's not a good look on Eddie Reynoso either. You don't defend that. And Eddie Reynoso knows better because when Constantine asked him the question, Eddie Reynoso scratched the back of his neck, just like this, what I'm doing right here. Okay, he scratched the back of his neck because he knew that issue was a tricky one. He knew that one he couldn't just talk his way out of. All right, so some of what Eddie Reynoso says I can take and agree with. His role in the group, he doesn't recommend things to people and all of that. But the situation is still very fishy. And no matter how Eddie Reynoso looks at it, the other thing that nobody's asking Eddie Reynoso is, why do you think Canelo accepted the franchise championship? Ask Eddie Reynoso that question. Eddie Reynoso should as his trainer, and you could ask Canelo the same question. Why did you accept the franchise championship? Mm-hmm. Why did you even request it? How has the franchise championship so far worked for you? Has it been beneficial to you in terms of the fights that you want to get? Somebody needs to press Canelo on. Why didn't you face Jamal Charlo? Why? Why didn't you face that guy? He was your mandatory. Why didn't you just face him then and there and get it over with? So these are just questions I would have loved for Canelo to do. I know he was chasing after legacy with Sergey Kovalev, but to be honest with you, I think he would have gotten much more respect if he had faced Jamal Charlo, even though Jamal Charlo wasn't world champion at the time. Sometimes you have to face contenders. Once the name, Jamal Charlo was a world champion at 154. So this was a division you were in, Canelo. So to face him coming up as a contender, that's great. We had Salvador Sanchez versus Wilfredo Gomez. Wilfredo jumped up in weight, faced Salvador Sanchez. He was the number one contender. He wasn't a world champion at the time. And who had Wilfredo Gomez beaten that was as great as Sanchez or great as Azuma Nelson? Nobody. So what I'm trying to say is Canelo needs to understand that sometimes you need to face these good champions now. And Caleb Plant's a good champion. Caleb Plant hasn't faced anybody of big note, but he's facing Caleb Plant. Why couldn't you do that with Jamal Charlo? Why couldn't you do that with Demetrius Andrade? Why are you avoiding these black fighters? Why are you falling into the stereotype of black fighters are so great and so powerful and so good? What, you don't want to give a black fighter a paycheck? What's your story, man? So all I'm just saying to Canelo is, and my criticism is a fair criticism, face these dudes. And please explain to me why you even have the franchise championship if you're not even going to use it. Was it for that one exceptional case where you wanted to face Sergey Kovalev? And why couldn't you hold on to the title, pay Jamal Charlo step aside money, and say, Jamal Charlo, I'm coming back to you. I'm going to come back down, and I'm going to face you. Why couldn't you do that? I mean, all I'm saying is that. Now, again, a lot of people will say Canelo did not duck Jamal Charlo because he faced Sergey Kovalev, which ain't nobody jumping up to 175 to just face Sergey Kovalev. I'm all with that. But here's my point. My point is, he behaved after that as if he wanted nothing to do with Jamal Charlo. He wanted nothing to do with Demetrius Andrade. And then he turns around and he says to Demetrius Andrade, you're a horrible fighter. And Jamal Charlo, who's an asshole as well, he confirms that same thing. Canelo says, you're a horrible fighter. When we all know Demetrius Andrade is one of the most duck fighters out there. So when Canelo's saying you're a horrible fighter and Demetrius and Jamal Charlo saying you're a horrible fighter, what they're both acknowledging is we don't want to face your ass because we're going to look terrible. You're going to make us look stupid. That's what they really mean. Because if you're a true killer, you would go face everybody and you ain't ask no questions. Right? I never heard Floyd, Pacquiao, Oscar, Mosley, Judah, what's his name? Who else? Who else we got? Thurman, Porter, Arrow. I ain't never heard none of these fighters say ever that any fighter is a horrible fighter. Even if the fighter is so-called running. If it's running, go get him. Go catch him. You know what I'm saying? And running is a code word for you're slippery. Even with Arislan Dilar, who moved excessively in the ring, and Guillermo Rigon now, you're slippery. You know what to do so that I don't hit you. That's the problem with these guys. All right? If you know a guy's a runner, Billy Conn was a runner. Joe Louis still knocked his ass out. Billy Conn was a runner. Philadelphia Jack O'Brien. These are two white guys I'm talking about. Right? Jumped up from lightweight to heavyweight, fought Tommy Burns. Fought to a draw. How did he do it? Literally, this motherfucker was moving like crazy in the ring. He wasn't standing in front of Tommy Burns. He was, quote unquote, running. But y'all praise Philadelphia Jack O'Brien. Y'all praise y'all praise these fighters. Why you praise those guys? Because they white? Get the I don't want to curse, but get for real, man. Y'all need to get for real out here, man. Out here, y'all need to get for real. If a guy's running, cut off the ring. Cut off the ring on him. Learn to cut off the ring and stop the bullshit. If the fighter is too elusive for you, you got to get a way. You have to figure out a way to get to him. All right? And it's a difficult style when somebody is moving and punching because you can't set the throw. Everybody knows this. Nobody's talking about Usyk and that he was running, okay? And he was moving excessively, moving a lot. Anthony Joshua couldn't plant the throw because Usyk's always moving. Well, moving all around the ring all the time, but he was moving, right? He's a runner too, is Usyk, but y'all praise Usyk. Y'all praise Usyk for moving, not staying in front of Anthony Joshua and being a target. So y'all need to stop with this fucking. Sorry about that, bomb. It slipped my mouth. Y'all need to stop with the hypocrisy, man. Y'all need to stop with it. Y'all praise certain fighters for doing the same thing other fighters be doing. Right? Canelo's talking about Caleb Plant going to be running. Well, cut off the ring then. If he runs, cut off the ring. Isolate him. You can't do that. Otherwise, just stop it. Just stop it. Stop it. Don't be predicting what the dude will do. You don't know what he's going to do. He might go in there and walk you down. You might be the one running all over the ring. And then he asking you at the end of the fight, who was running now? Who was running? Who was running? You said I was going to be running, right? Right? But you forgot I'm the bigger dude. I'm the bigger guy. And I'm going to treat you like that because I can box. I know what to do to deal with guys like you. See, that's what I'm just saying. Everybody think Caleb Plant will go in there and just box and move and box. Well, y'all might get a little shock of your life. We'll see who's boxing and moving in this fight. Right? So if you're a slick boxer, if you're a elusive boxer, if you got defense, all of a sudden you a runner, or you're not able to do toe to toe, and you're not able to do, that's the stupid stuff I hear stupid people talking about. Decaps. But real boxers know, and real people in boxing know, that's called being elusive. That's called being slick. And you make a guy miss, of course, you got to make him pay. All right. This is what you need in the building. I wanted to talk about that, what Eddie Reynoso said. And Eddie Reynoso also talked about his experience bringing up Canelo and Canelo's reputation, and how certain people in the industry would love to tear down Canelo's reputation. Which, again, I'll agree with those things. I don't disagree with Eddie Reynoso on none of those points, because Canelo is the top dog. But at the end of the day, and I love that Canelo's chirping away, right? And I think that Canelo, there's still some question marks on him, but I think that Canelo is pretty much a clean fighter. He was in the clean USADA program. Actually, USADA has a clean boxing program as well. And then, of course, he was in the clean VADA program. He's been in and out of VADA, though. So I don't know what to make of that either. So there's some shady stuff that Canelo be doing. But for the most part, right now, I know he's going to be clean for this fight, because he entered the VADA program for this fight, just to make everybody know he's a clean fighter, right? But ultimately, in the end, what I can say about Canelo or any boxer out there is Canelo isn't trying to be dirty. He's not trying to cheat on the backswing in terms of his image, how he looks to the public eye. And this guy been trying his best to be, on the up and up and on the right path, and show that, it's just hard work and dedication he brings to the table. He's definitely copying Floyd Mayweather's blueprint, and I wish him the best. I mean, if he can win this fight against Caleb Plant, this boy he's a bad boy. That's all I'm gonna say. And Canelo very much can do that. Right? I told you this is a 50-50 fight in my opinion. I'm not changing my mind. I know what I saw. But ultimately, in the end, he comes out the victor. More power to him, man. More power to him. And he has all the tools to do that. No doubt about it. Anyway, this is what you need in the building. That's all I got to say. Now, for those of you out there who watching my channel, you can speed up the videos so you can get the videos to happen faster. 2x, you just go into your properties there, click on 2x, and you can speed it up. So any video that's long, because most of my videos are long these days, and it's all right. I like long ass videos sometimes. Get me to go into more detail. Check the community section for great welterweight champions that we're looking at. All the welterweight champions come all down to the present era. We're right now at Sugar Ray Robinson. If you go and you look right now, you see a little clip of Sugar Ray Robinson in his prime fighting Sandy Agat. Okay, Sandy Agat was a lightweight world champion. At the time when Sugar Ray Robinson faced him here, he had just lost his WBA championship. I think right after that, he got knocked out by Bujack. Bujack knocked him out. That was the only knockout of his career. Come up the loss to Sugar Ray Robinson. Sugar Ray Robinson crashed his ass 8, 9, 10. Sugar Ray Robinson really beat him up, but he knew how to survive. He knew how to, clinch up. He was still alive. He was a live dog throughout the fight. And you guys can check him out. Sammy, not Sandy. Sammy Angat is a fierce warrior, man. This dude would fight welterweights, not on a regular basis, but mostly welterweights at a certain point. But he was really a lightweight, so he didn't really win a lot of his welterweight fights, but he was a live dog in almost all of them. He had 135 fights, a lot of rematches with a lot of guys who were good fighters, and he was a bad boy. He was a bad boy. So you guys should check out Sammy Angat as well. He never was a welterweight champion or anything, but he campaigned mostly at lightweight. He was a lightweight, champion. But still, fantastic fighter. And this was one of the guys that, he fought Sugar Ray Robinson twice, and Sugar Ray Robinson beat him twice. Again, down the stretch, mostly where Sugar Ray Robinson do the better work. Angat, man, was a guy, he didn't really use the jab a lot. He jabbed to the pit every now and then. But he was a fighter who, he led with the right hand. He led with the left hook. The lead hand, he would use different methods with the lead hand. And he was a more scrappy fighter. So he brought the heat. He kind of reminded me of Aaron Pryor, Sean Porter. He bring the heat. He be on you all the time. He's on you all the time. He likes to fight on the inside. So he likes to get to the inside and then just throw his punches on the inside. Sugar Ray Robinson was able to handle him, though, and deal with the situation with that nice long jab that he threw. But Angat was equal to the task, man. He would be slipping that jab, getting past it, bait the jab, and come through with some shots. It was good stuff watching Sammy Angat do his thing. You know what I'm saying? So for those of you who don't know about that, check it out. The video's in the section, and we're gonna go keep rolling it through. So after Sugar Ray Robinson came on the scene, we had Carmen Basilio. No, sorry, my bad. Let me see. No, sorry, welterweight. After that, I think it was Johnny. What's it? Johnny Sutton. Johnny, not Stanton. It's Johnny Stanton. I think it was Johnny Stanton. I think was the next welterweight champion. I may have got the name mixed up. He was the next undisputed welterweight champion. We'll talk about him. Fun fighter, man. To watch him fight, he had a lot of pull counters, but he would pull counter from the outside. So if you throw the jab for this orthodox jab, so if you throw the orthodox jab, his head would slip to this side, and then he would come over the top with the right hand. So he pull counter to the outside. Now you can pull counter also to the inside of the jab, where your head slips to the inside of the jab, right? And you counter actually straight down the center. The key to it, though, it's very risky to do that, but it's all about timing, and it's all about how you position yourself. Of course, you don't have to come with the pull counter. You can pull back, slip to the inside of the jab. So you're slipping to the inside of the jab here. As an orthodox fighter, you can slip to the inside this way, right? And you could come with the overhand right, or you can slip to the inside. So you slip off to this side, but you come up the center with spare jab. So you can mix it up and come with different shots, because just in case the guy is going to come to you with the right hand, he's coming down the center with the right hand, so that you don't get caught. You could blind him with the spear jab first, and then come over the top with the right hand. He did it to Canelo Alvarez, actually. Floyd did that to Canelo Alvarez. So it's a little tricky thing. In boxing, you got to be smart. You know what I mean? Anyways, my people, like, share, subscribe. Don't forget you can donate via Western Union or MoneyGram. I know my money's coming very short. I see some of the subscribers talking to me in the background, and y'all talking about donating to me. The only problem is I only got Western Union or MoneyGram. So if you guys want to donate smaller amounts of money, it's kind of harder to do. So for my subscribers out there who want to aid me, what you might do is just save up some of the money over a couple of months, and then you can just donate to my channel, right? That's the way you could do it, and that way we could work things out. Right now in the background, somebody's blowing a blower, so it's gonna make a whole set of noise. I'm gonna check out that dude. No, he got some work I want him to do for me. So I'm gonna catch you guys later, man. What you need in the building. Peace. Remember, 2x. Press 2x. It can go a lot faster. You can pick up content. If you want to go through a lot of video stuff and get the gist of the video, besides looking at the headlines, you can speed up everything to 2x. If it's a little too fast, you slow down the speed so you can pick up whatever's in the videos. 2x is everything's half time. Just double the speed. All right, I'll catch you guys later. What you need out.